On this episode of Owlkids TV, we're interviewing Kira Vermond, author of The Secret Life of Money. Welcome back. Our next guest is author Kira Vermond, who wrote The Secret Life of Money, a brand new book from Owlkids Publishing for kids ages 9 to 13. As soon as I read the book, I knew I had to have Kira on the show, because even though it answers a ton of questions about money in its 160 pages, I still had a few more. Thanks so much for being here, Kira.
It's good to be here.
Let's get started with an easy question. Why is money so important? Actually, that may not be the easiest question.
You're right. It's actually a really tough question. But what I've figured out is that money is never just money. And what I mean by that is that money has an influence on everything in our lives. It has an influence on how much money we have to eat. What kind of food do we have on the table? Whether or not we go to camp, where we live, and even how we feel about ourselves. And when money disappears, when it goes away, we can feel really stressed about it. Even countries can feel really stressed about the lack of money.
I'm glad you brought up countries. I've always wondered, why do some countries have more money than others? What do people mean when they call a country third world?
Today we call these less economically developed countries third world countries, and first world countries are ones that have a strong money system in place.
So if we live in a first world country and my parents make $75,000 a year, how come my parents can't buy me everything I want? It seems like so much money.
Yeah, that $75,000 seems like a huge amount of money. But the thing is, your parents are actually paying for a lot of invisible things. Things like taxes, or, I don't know, your house, your car, your pets. All of these things really add up. And don't forget inflation. Every year it costs about 3% more just to live on this planet. All of these expenses really add up.
Why do name brand things cost more than no-name things? Sometimes they look or taste exactly the same.
Studies tell us that people spend money on the brand they know. And in order to get that name out there, companies will actually spend a lot of money on advertising. So part of the cost that we pay in order to buy this product is actually going towards that advertising. A brand name pair of jeans will cost more because more people are willing to shell out for them. That's because they think the label tells a story. Like, hey look, this label means this is a really expensive pair of jeans. So that means I've got to be rich.
When you deposit money in your bank account, where does it go? Does the bank have a safe with my name on it that stores all my money for me?
Wow, if everybody had a vault in the bank full of money, can you imagine how big those banks would have to be? The reality is, though, that banks actually work with virtual money. They don't necessarily work with a lot of cash and coins. So when you go into the bank with, let's say, $20 from babysitting, you're giving that $20 to the teller, and they might put it in a stash full of cash to give to other people.
If banks can lose money or even shut down, is it maybe a better idea to store my money underneath my mattress?
A better idea is to actually give your money to your parents to invest for you. You don't have to invest in anything risky like stock, though. You can make a lot of money that way and lose a lot of money too. If you just have your parents put your money in a boring old high-interest account, though, at least the bank will pay you a bit of money just for leaving it with them. We call that payment interest.
Okay, one final question. What is the most important thing you would like kids to learn from this book?
What I'd like kids to learn from The Secret Life of Money is that money is not scary, despite what their parents might think. In fact, if you understand money and how you can make it work for you, money can be a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for being here, Kira. We'll be right back. Don't go away.